first and foremost, we want to thank everybody for showing up for a late night match. Um, it's it's probably going to be a pretty good one. Not gonna lie.
Shout out to Nathan in the chat.
Yep. Shout out to Nathan in the chat. Yes, sir. Yeah, it looks like it's Dash Boltyn. Pretty. I don't know. I don't remember the last time I've actually seen a Dash versus Boltyn, but I do know that Josh has quite a bit of testing with Boltyn. He did very well with it at Nationals. So
I'm not actually sure how the Dash versus Boltyn matchup is. Do we
I'll-
know? Do we know if Josh is playing Sabers or if he's playing Raiden?
I don't know. I want to say he actually chooses to
He decides.
I think he decides
sideboard?
when for sideboard. I
Do you
think
know if he's playing the spicy one of in the deck?
Oh, I know. It's Josh. Of course it is. And if people get to see it, we're all gonna scream at the top of our lungs, right? I've seen many a head shake.
If he does that per game, I'm
right.
I'll be hype.
I honestly will too. Looks like Captain of Disguise over here has the Scar for Skirmbat. That's like the one thing I want to own in Flesh and Blood.
Another cool thing I learned about TTS the other day: if you pick up your deck and like shake it around, it shuffles it.
I saw that. I wonder what you guys are doing. Like,
yeah, he was like, if you pick your deck up and shake it around, it shuffles it. I was like, oh my gosh.
That's funny. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, we're pretty new to TTS as a team. We need to get hip with the times, honestly, right? A lot of people are. What?
Have we seen Josh play on TTS? Sorry to cut you off. Have we seen him play on TTS before?
No, we haven't. We're about to see a master.
Do we know if he plays with his dice like he does in real life?
Probably. I was watching him just do the dice right there, and I'm like, I swear to God, if Josh does this, it's the typical Josh Lau move, right? So for everyone who doesn't know, Josh likes to play with dice that represent the damage to be courteous to the player, and so there's no confusion with certain things, and it's very professional of him. So he honestly probably does. Now I think he would be going Raiden for this deck, right? Yeah, so you see him reveal the Raiden. I think that's probably correct. It's more of a mid-range deck, and it can pop off at any time when it wants to. It does the same thing, minus the double Centauri Saber nonsense. So
also notice the Iron Rock gauntlets on his opponent's side of the board, which is I guess he just wants a little extra block in the armor suite for the Raiden.
Yeah, definitely makes sense because
not to trigger the
not to trigger the go again, banish the card. Yeah.
I'm curious to see this matchup because this is one I actually don't have a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
With how this should play out, I should say. Charging a red Express Lightning here for take
looks
flight,
like take flight for again. 2. If you charge, you get go again. That's a really neat card. And it looks like he is doing the dice. I love it.
Gonna be a lot of dice on this.
I love it. I freaking love it. So he's got go again, obviously, and he's charged, and Raiden can just attack and get another card out of his hand if he wanted to do that. Oh, okay. Well, it defended for 3 and it gained 1, so the take flight technically was for 4 or 3. And then you got Raiden. It looks like he just blocks 2 cards, goes to 6, so it full blocks the Raiden.
He's representing with 2 different dice there? Do you know what that's for?
I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's base 3 because he had 4 on top. If he blocks with a non-attack, it goes, or an attack action, it goes 4.
So he's telling his opponent what it would be. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's right.
That's how he gets everybody. He's like, I'm just gonna tell you everything and give you all the knowledge, and I'm still gonna beat you. Now, it might not happen in this match, but I've seen him. He's when playing, he's just a very, very nice person.
Oh, definitely.
And
Dash here, one of the most annoying decks you can play on TTS. The actions per minute are through the roof. So there's just lots of beads and dice moving around all the time. Looks like he just got shot for 2, and Josh took it, of course.
Yeah, there's no reason not to.
Not worried about health total right now, especially with how badly Boltyn needs cards in hand to have its really, really effective turns.
This is correct. This is definitely correct.
And he knows his opponent's not going to have a real big turn to start with, but a command and conquer on turn 1 is quite good.
Very, very good off rip.
Quite good.
Forces him to defend with his armor if he really needs that card. So he'll have a 4-card hand. But he wants to keep the armor and just block 6. He blocks with a take flight and a beacon of victory. It looks like they're red take flight too.
Two very good cards. So.
Yeah.
Only have a certain number of beacons in the deck, and those can be kind of win conditions.
So it looks to me. I mean, sink below this early just doesn't matter. So like I get it.
Yes, especially in the dash matchup, especially if you think your opponent's going to be more controlling. But one really important thing to note about the dashes turn 1 is no induction chamber, no spark of genius, nothing to get at that second equipment, which can be really, really devastating early on. So the command and conquer obviously was a great play, but I think the dash player would much have preferred to go ahead and get a second equipment out.
Yeah, for sure. On Engulfing Light, if it hits, it goes into Assault 2. So that's, I think, pretty good. So it looks like Chris takes it and just wants to play the full hand. With Dash, he probably just wants to like grind the game out, chip away at damage until he can hit like his one of his 2 high octane turns he could possibly have in the game, right? And then just kind of steamroll after that, pun intended. But
here's a really nice card. As a Prism player, I know this card quite well. This is Red Throttle. And it attacks for 6.
Yeah, that's all I need to know. This is the alpha print one, wow. Or the first edition print. It just says boost.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing ever.
Another fun fact for the chat. The Arcane Rising first edition foils had
just the foils.
No reminder text on the box.
Yep.
Just a boost.
Yep.
Which is really, really neat.
Pretty freaking awesome, honestly.
So we're getting a Teklo Foundry Heart activation here. We're going to turn 1 into 2 resources.
Wow.
Which, I mean, that's pretty typical.
Yeah. So as you see now, 1 high octane's gone.
Another Red Throttle. That's
and you have another Red Throttle.
Good.
And he whiffed on the boost. He hit the Tome of Findle.
Yeah. So, I mean, even with the whiff, he's coming in for 12 here. So, I mean, that's a pretty.
That's
pretty
a
nice
really
turn.
good turn, especially for Dash, right?
Yeah, early dash turns don't attack for 12.
Yeah.
Unless they're playing the full aggro build. Which, I mean, without the induction chamber or anything. Oh, he had another sink below. That's interesting.
That's probably why I did it. Fix his hand a little bit and just come in for a small weenie attack and push a little bit of damage in, I guess is what he's going to do. Looks like he's probably going to just end up taking... Yeah, he takes the 2. He's got 3 cards installed too, so he's working his way up there, right?
For sure. Do you think this Dash player is actually playing aggro, or do you think that they're playing the typical kind of mid-range-ish?
I mean, I see 2 I saw 2 Red Throttle. I don't think any of those decks that I've seen play 2 Red Throttle.
They do. They play 3 Red Throttle just because for the Prism match you just have to play that card.
Bolts of Courage. Now this one attacks, it actually or if it hits, it draws a card, and so now the Dash player needs to. Well, he's just gonna take the on-hit draw. Okay.
Yeah. He's not really doing a whole lot to present go again right now.
Yeah.
This is one of the big things about Boltyn is it really needs its hand to function. So
it needs its hand and it needs a big soul.
Yeah, and I mean the soul is going to be there. He just needs a couple cards in soul. But the big thing is he needs some way to buff his attacks. Like
another whiff.
That's an interesting whiff there.
Yeah. I get the sink belows. Just for the fact that like
for sure.
But just double whiffing like back-to-back turns is just just not great for this deck.
That's rough. No, the cool thing about this deck is they can always get their action point back with the Achilles Accelerator.
Yep.
But so it's kind of like a fail-safe for one time at least.
So you could like Achilles and play Teklo or something and kind of have a turn.
Yeah.
But like,
curious to see when he's going to prioritize using that throughout the match. And Josh is continually blocking here, which is interesting. He knows his opponent whiffed, yet he's still blocking. Curious to see what the follow-up from this is going to be.
I think he's just minimizing the damage that he's going to take. Because I think on the other end, the Boltyn deck is more of a mid-range deck, and so he's just wanting to like block a little, poke a little, block a little, poke a little, and until he dwindles down for the play. And look, and you see him go ahead and just activate the Achilles Accelerator now.
Yeah, getting it out this early, he must have like a Spark of Genius or something, or must have a good follow-up at least.
Oh, the third red throttle with
okay.
Go Again.
Okay. Third red throttle, interesting.
That's I was it kind of reminded me of when you played the Bravo player the other night, and he had all 3 yellow lead the charges in the first like 4 turns.
Yeah, and Josh actually elected to take this damage here.
Wow.
He still has Go Again with 1 floating. And Josh knows that. So taking the damage here, I mean, he's got to have something to follow up with. Hasn't used his induction chamber yet. This is a lot of damage coming in.
He must have a really good turn on the crack pack here. Especially with the way he was blocking early game.
Yeah. I always hate taking the blocking strategy against Dash in the early game because the later the game goes...
No, he activated Teklo.
Yeah, no, this is a fine play, especially if he has another like throttle-esque
big
card.
Attack. Yeah, like
which
like
you see blue throttles. You see blue throttles there too, so
yeah.
He's playing more of the 6s.
So he puts 1 on the pistol, then probably attacking for 1 with like a
another boost card, maybe.
Like a boost card. Oh, he went ahead and he just played Teklo Core. That's probably the correct thing to do, right? It's just to get the setup because you had a pretty successful turn pushing that damage through with the throttle. So I honestly think that was the correct move to do that.
Definitely.
So he's got to take flight, charge, draw a card.
And also, if his opponent is playing a lot of expensive cards, then that Teklo Core is really going to come in handy the next couple of turns.
So he's attacking for 4 if he blocks 5. And so he's got Go Again because he charged here. And then he plays the Lumina Ascension and comes in for Raiden for, what is it, 4?
It's going to be, I believe 4 if he blocks 5.
And then he checks on hit.
And he gets 2 swings out of it.
Yeah. So he could potentially gain a couple life here while he's doing this too.
It's going to be a nice 12 damage turn, depending on whether he has a good follow-up card. But I'm going to assume that card's going to go into Arsenal after everything's said and done. Good use of the tunic counter for sure.
Though definitely.
Looks like his opponent's just taking the damage.
Probably just should be.
Yeah, Dash keeping a 5-card hand after a Teklo Core. I've got a feeling there might be a high octane coming pretty soon.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Is just the high octane just seems like it's going to be a little bit more deadly than the average Dash deck because it seems to me Chris is just playing more of a boost-esque type deck and tries to race the Boltyn.
I'm wondering if Chris didn't realize that the Raiden could attack again here. He took the damage pretty confidently, and then when he attacked again, it looks like he was having to like read the card to make sure. I'm wondering if he didn't realize that it could attack twice. And he's got a follow-up. That's very, very nice.
Wow. And this one, if on hit, draw a card, right? So it's coming in.
This is kind of forcing a block out of Dash's hand. I would not want to give Boltyn
an arsenal.
An arsenal.
It looks like he did. Went ahead and gave it to him.
Doesn't mind.
So it looks like
your Boltyn's playing sync belows and stuff.
Yeah. Looks like Josh only gained 1 life that turn.
He only hit 1, really? What else? What did he whiff with?
There's the high octane.
Yeah, I was figuring that's probably what was going to come with him keeping his hand like he did.
Yeah.
And with the Teklo Core active, he's going to have resources for days.
He's whiffed. He's whiffed twice, right? So like,
he's whiffed twice, so the likelihood of another whiff is decreased, especially after having played the 2 Command and Conquers as
yeah,
well.
yeah. We've seen what?
Or was it 1 Command and Conquer?
I think it was only 1.
Okay.
Still though, like just your chances of gone down by 3 cards that you've whiffed on already or have played. So
for sure.
I think this is Josh's just block turn.
Oh yeah, the high octane turns are almost always just block some damage.
Yeah.
He's gonna prioritize. If I know Josh very well, he's gonna prioritize keeping that Brave Forge bracers around for blocking as long as possible before having to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Looks
man.
like we have a
tome
coming in.
Jeez, high octane and a tome is always
disgusting. A very, very good turn.
Disgusting.
Yeah, he is. He's doing work here.
Doesn't look like it was from Arsenal though, so that's something. He flipped his deck on accident. Same card though. That's hilarious.
This is a very scary turn. Have we ever seen like a high octane into a high, maximum velocity?
I have never seen a maximum velocity played. Oh, that's the third high
That's
octane.
the third high octane, so he just has to survive this.
Yep, this is the only high octane turn, which is that actually bodes very well.
That's huge. That's huge. He still could be coming in for another, I mean, this is a zipper coming in for 5. He could possibly come in for Lord knows how much, right? Like he could still have a pretty big turn, presenting quite a bit of damage after Josh even blocks. So
yeah, he's just got all of those action points, and
yep.
I mean, the only downfall right now is that he doesn't have multiple induction chambers on the board, so that he can pistol several times afterwards.
Yeah, that's the kicker, right? That's what you like ideally want, right? Is be able to play this and then have the resources to tech low and then double induction, like have double induction and then come in for another 4.
Right. The pistol's just so effective at presenting multiple sources of damage, kind of the same way that Rosetta Thorn is so effective.
High Speed Impact is a neat card because I'm pretty sure if it hits,
it gives
the next attack
thing with boost.
Yeah,
the next thing with boost gets dominate.
Yep. So that would be where Josh would defend with his armor if like he thought it was necessary.
Yeah, with 2 cards in hand, I don't know. He's starting to dwindle on the amount of damage that he can output after this.
Sure.
And he already played.
He's played a lot of his high attack cards.
Yeah.
The throttles.
Yeah, usually they don't. Just in case they whiff on something, they don't hold back the higher attacks. But you never know. Like Dash is not a deck that I've played a bunch or anything. So there's definitely some elements that I'm missing to the matchup, which I'm sure Josh is well versed on, having played Boltyn as many times as he has.
Yeah. The warrior aficionado himself.
Indeed. With the warrior mat too.
If you guys didn't know, for the people who are chilling in chat with us, we appreciate you watching the match with us. If I'm not mistaken, Josh ended up getting like 40 something at Nationals, 40th or so, 43rd or something.
He did quite well.
He did, and he actually lost to a teammate Nathan with the craziest thing that we saw from the other night. There was a whole bunch of channel mount heroics and CNCs like back to back turns. I watched it happen in real time. It was crazy. Mm-hmm. So you see him coming in for the pistol afterwards. So he's going to try to push in a little bit of penny damage. Probably come in for another attack after this. Maybe he could try to bait a couple cards out of Josh's hand with this too. So Josh probably ends up taking it.
Yeah.
Now his skull cap's live too.
Thinking Josh has a couple good cards in hand.
He has to, right? Like, I don't think he would. Well,
there's something he does not want to block with.
No, I think he needs to have a turn. I think is what he's thinking.
He's probably gonna. Oh, okay. There goes a plasma purifier.
This has got to be another attack action, unless he's just attacking pistol and pat arsenaling. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking he was gonna load the induction chamber with the last card in his hand, but chose not to. I guess it doesn't really matter because he has that Teklo core that's gonna give him a couple more resources.
That card gets so much value. So engulfing light, if it hits, it goes into soul. So like, again, he's just trying to, I guess, fuel his soul, because now he thinks that the worst is already behind us right at this point.
I mean, with all 3 high octanes gone and his opponent only having 1 induction chamber on the board, his opponent is not in a position to attack him 27 times in a turn again.
Yep, this is very true.
So they can still output a lot of damage, but it's the worst turns are behind him for sure.
Yeah. Oh, he has the beacon.
Very, very nice. I knew there had to be a good card that he didn't want to block with.
Yeah, that's why.
Blitz getting banished is
that's pretty huge.
Yeah. That's a real nice card to have.
Yeah.
So
what does he go in search here? A Lumina to set?
Yeah. I mean, can't ever go, especially after you've seen. Well, I don't know. That's tough. I think you just have to. I don't think there's really any other great options.
Yeah.
But looks like he's just opting.
Really? You think so? So engulfing light hit. Oh, yeah. He is playing it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that now he'll be able to come in for 4, possibly 5, and then it'll go again to do it again. So you look in here, and we have a 4. You have a 12 damage turn on the crackback, which is really good. So I'm assuming, Sink Below would be coming in, and he's going to be giving go again here just to be able to attack again.
Did he gain a life there? Did he banish? Or no, it has to hit.
It has to hit. Yep. Now he's going to come in again for 4 if blocking 5. I really think this one's going to get through.
I can't imagine his opponent wanting to block this, especially with being at a comfy life total.
Yeah.
The only downside to having this Raiden hit right now is the fact that Josh is most likely going to gain a life from it. And with Josh being at an even life total, the 2 attacks from pistol line up really nicely, but the 17 could put him one more pistol shot out of range.
Yep.
Just little things to think about when you're playing classic constructed matches. It's the little things that'll win you the game for sure. Getting the second block out of the Teklo Heart, that's really nice. His opponent does not have a lot of block left in the equipment.
Wow, he's got a non-attack he just defended with. So the Raiden.
Or the mold.
Well, so since Josh's turn, I think that was kind of a win.
Oh,
right?
For sure. Got 2 cards out of his hand.
Got 2 cards out of hand and a card out of arsenal, and he got the second defense off of the Teklo Heart.
And that was with a 2-card hand too.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. So like, more than likely he takes this turn off and just takes this damage, because like right now he kind of just like surface level threatens 4, and cards in the deck for Dash, 27, Nathan. And then Josh has 33.
I think it's kind of interesting that both of these decks banish a lot of their cards in their deck. It's like outside of Chain, there's not many decks that do that. And like these are the 2.
They really are. The decks kind of play similar to each other, right?
So just presenting 4 and probably going to Arsenal the last card would be my guess. I can't imagine that Josh blocks this 2 damage.
Having a 4-card hand, if he didn't brick or he didn't draw optimal, is probably ideal for him. Just the guy coming in for the 2-2.
Josh does need to find a way to get back into this. With 2 Lumina Ascensions gone, his life gain is now minimal.
Yeah.
He does need to find a way to present some more damage at some point or another.
Well, I think what he's doing here is he's probably talking to his opponent, probably contemplating, even though he's going to take the damage. Right now, he's probably thinking he blocks with the Brave Forge Bracers, or if he just holds it for the next couple turns. I do think he's probably going to keep his 4-card hand. I think it's probably right to do.
I think he's like knowing how Josh is about his equipment. I think he's going to keep the bracers for until the last minute, until he feels like because they always block with the way that Teklo pistol breaks the chain.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be able to get all 3 damage blocked out of it in 1 turn if he needs to.
Sure. Okay.
So he's not going to block with the Braveforge bracers here, but I think he's deciding, am I actually going to use my entire hand on my next turn?
Fair
If
enough.
not, I need to block this card because there's probably nothing coming after it.
So you see him block with an engulfing light to not take the damage, and he's keeping his Brave Forge open.
Yeah.
He needs to present quite a bit of damage here, I feel like. I feel like Soul Shield isn't that valuable.
No.
Just because the throttles are gone, right?
Well, it's not just that the throttles are gone. It's just your opponent only has so many cards that attack for 6, and the Soul Shield for sure is not getting in front of a CNC. So
yeah,
it's just not a great card in the dash match. It doesn't do quite enough for what it does, because you have to pitch and be able to play it, and then Boltyn really needs to utilize its hand every turn. So Soul Shield is kind of a gutter card in this matchup, in my opinion. But there must not have been a better card to put in its place. So
yeah.
I mean, Josh knows what he's doing. Maybe he prioritizes having a card in Soul, you know. So.
And that'd be the perfect card to put in your Soul too. So.
His opponent, I think, is still tanking on this block here.
Yeah, he's thinking on the block because
Engulfing Light's the one that just goes to Soul.
If it hits, it just goes to Soul. So
keep in mind also, this is really important. Josh is very good at using his equipment, so the Snapdragon scalers are still there. And I think with his opponent having used up both block on the Teklo Heart and not having the resources, or not having the action point freebie from his leg piece anymore, and all 3 high octanes, his opponent's turns are going to be significantly worse from here on out. He's not going to have those freebie like high octane turns to gain action points. He's not going to have the action point from the legs. There's
looks
not
like he's
a whole
got a
lot
beacon.
of ways to go again outside of just like the pistol with induction chambers and his boosts, of course. But
probably looking at just like standard pistol, like
right, maybe like a boost
card, like a blue
pistol.
Boost card for 2 or something. Yeah.
Right.
So we see Beacon here. What do you think he gets?
I think he gets Lumina and sets it.
Okay. You think he needs to set up a turn like with it for next turn? Hopefully he just puts him on like don't kill me, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Josh seems to prioritize going ahead and getting the damage, and maybe that's for the life gain aspect.
Yeah, well there he goes and does it. So he's doing the same thing for if you block 5 with an attack action. And Teklo's gone. He can use Iron Rock Gauntlet, but he would have to still. Was Iron Rock Gauntlet? That's the WTR
block for
card.
1. Yeah, it blocks for 1 and breaks. It's not a very good card. But
no, it really doesn't help right now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting decision because it's free, right? Whereas the Iron Hide pieces from Monarch
cost 1 resource,
but
it's for 2.
They block for 2. So it's an interesting balance of like which one do you think you're going to need in a specific match. Which I don't know. Dash has a lot of very efficient utilization of its resources. So
yeah,
I guess he's not really worried about pitching a card, or he is more worried about pitching a card for the extra blow. This Lumina is the 3rd one, right?
That is the 3rd one, yeah.
And that was the 2nd beacon.
Second.
Well,
no, that's the 3rd. He blocked with 1 early.
Yeah,
game,
so that would be the 3rd.
Sure.
So 3rd beacon and 3rd Lumina gone.
So we've got like a lot of we got a lot of the power cards kind of just like out of the mix now.
There's no way to get cards back in Boltyn, right? Like there's no way to like shuffle those back in. Other than Remembrance, which I doubt they play.
I don't.
Well,
off the top of my noggin, I don't really
back
think
in,
so.
doesn't it? Remembrance only gets attack action cards, right?
I think it's action cards.
Or it's action cards. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Also, for the people in the chat watching the stream, everything, we appreciate you guys chilling out with us here on a Friday evening or late Friday night, wherever you are in the world. or Saturday morning. If you guys enjoy the content,
Nice. A live game.
wow, that is a live game. We like that. We love to see that. If you guys wouldn't mind clicking the subscribe button, it helps our channel grow, and we hope to have you on this journey for 2022. It's going to be a great year for the Card Guys, great year for Flesh and Blood, great year in general. So I'm looking forward to do something. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate you guys chilling with us.
TheCardGuyz gonna kick some booty in 2021, 2022.
Well, we kicked booty in 2021 too. So yeah. So it looks like he blocks 6 here.
Another Command and Conquer gone.
Yep, that's 2.
All right. Hopefully his opponent doesn't have an insane turn here.
Michael Albert, we appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Means a bunch to us, buddy.
Thanks a bunch for that, Michael. Hope you enjoy this matchup as much as I am. This is interesting.
It really is.
It's such a back and forth matchup. I have zero clue who's gonna win this.
Yep. I feel like for what's been thrown at him, Josh has played very well.
Red 0 to 60 here. That's an attack for 4, right? I believe.
Is this the red one?
Yeah, that's the red one.
Yeah, red one 0 for 4. That card is freaking. That's like, in my opinion, other than like high octane, it's like the best card in the deck. That card's absurd.
0 to 60 is fantastic.
It's also really pretty in first edition foil. Wouldn't you think, Alex?
It is indeed. Can confirm.
Can confirm. When I saw that card in your brain, I was like, "Whoa, this card's pretty."
That's another thing I haven't seen, actually, now that I've seen the block with the Courageous Steel Hand. He hasn't had a single attack reaction this game other than the beacon, right?
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
Which is unique, considering how much Josh is used to reacting.
Right.
I want more attack reactions. And this actually is a situation where, as like for myself, not having played Boltyn too much, having to value these blocks so highly, because you don't have an arsenal. Your every block out of your hand weakens your follow up, and these two decks are just trading blows back and forth with these smaller attacks, and so it just comes down to the point where I don't really understand how Boltyn gains the tempo back, whereas Dash always has that pistol to fall back on, even when they don't have a great turn. So I'll be curious to see how Josh attempts to get that advantage back. Just chilling with the boys. Amen to that.
Looks like he blocks with a Valiant Thrust for 3. Looks like he's just taking the turn off. Dude, Plunder Run's disgusting.
That's a fantastic card in this deck. Not one I'm used to seeing though.
Yeah, like there's plays that they do that's just does
here's
things.
The Raiden for 0.
This is the best play in the game. Raiden for 0 Arsenal pass.
I love the Raiden for 0.
So like,
and if he blocked with Plunder Run there, what do you think that Arsenal card is?
It has to be another one, right?
It has to be another, right?
God, dude, that'd be crazy.
All right, let's take a poll in chat. What is what is the Arsenal card?
Yeah, Sebastian said he's probably got the Brother Christian hand, bro. If he's got the Brother Christian hand, that'd be crazy.
Game. That's the Brother Christian hand. Game. I want to see some battlefield blitzes with some plunder runs and some. Whew, you can go big and wide. I'm curious now that he does have an Arsenal card, and it's got to be a good one.
All right, I put up a poll, by the way, so it'll show up in a second. If people can guess on what it is. I've never done one of these before. There it is. It popped up.
Plunder Run or something else. Descriptive. If you answer something else, you have to put your answer in chat.
I just voted Plunder Run. Oh, man. 2 votes. Somebody else thinks it's another red Plunder Run.
It was me.
Oh, shoot. He keeps checking that arsenal. It's Plunder or Battlefield Blitz. Yeah, you're probably not wrong. Battlefield Blitz would also be very, very good.
I love Battlefield Blitz. Every time Christian played that card on me, I had to pick it up and read it and remind myself how good that card was and how scared I was of it.
It sucked that Josh had to. He banished one early. Nathan thinks it's going to be via the Vanguard.
Thinks it's going to be V. That's also another good option.
It's actually a very good card too. I could also see it being V. V is I honestly forgot that card existed in this deck, but Via the Vanguard is also a very good card to do stuff with. So
it does things, that's for sure.
It really does things. Wow, we had 7 people vote. Y'all are wild. I didn't think we were going to be that active, but
we haven't seen a V yet, so the probability that it's a V is quite high.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Christopher Ray, my guy.
He is just taking some damage right
So happy to have you in the stream.
Multiple
Hopefully
0 to 60s.
Yeah. 0 and 3 there. Yeah.
So we're going to see the bracers here pretty soon. He's keeping a 4-card hand, a very good arsenal card.
He has to have an insane turn. It probably
and a
is
tunic counter. And a tunic counter. It's got to be a great turn coming. I can't imagine that his opponent can present lethal here either.
Josh is saying, kill me. Kill me now.
Josh is on the left.
Yeah, Josh
is playing...
Josh is on the...
He's on the left on my screen, sorry.
Josh is on the right for me. He's playing Boltyn.
Josh is playing Boltyn.
Yeah. Josh literally sitting here saying, kill me now.
Pitching a sink
Wow.
below. When he knows his opponent's about to have a good turn,
wow.
and he pitched a sink below. That is an interesting call.
Wow. He valued the life gain, I guess.
I don't know if I would value the life gain more than a sink below in a situation like that. A free block from Arsenal.
This play right here makes or breaks the whole match.
Unless
it's the plunder run. I'm right. You're all wrong. You're all wrong. It is the freaking plunder run.
We both got it right.
Whoa, go team. High five to the Discord. Let's go.
Kyle, we're smarter than chat.
God. Get good, chat.
Get good, chat. Josh playing warrior, go figure. He lives and breathes and dies by the warrior.
Yeah. Brother Christian approves. Jesus Christ.
His name is actually Brother Christian on YouTube.
That's absurd.
I can't believe it.
So you got a Express Lightning coming in for numbers.
6 draw a card. 7 draw a card, sorry.
7 if it hits draw a card. Okay, so this is where the tempo comes back in his favor a little, right?
Break points are nice when they draw you cards, isn't it?
What are we saying dang for, Nathan? What's going on here? Inform.
He's saying dang, good turn.
Oh. I like that. I like that more than what I was thinking. In poll, I was right. Now I bet he wishes he had the sink below plus a non-attack. Bro. Like,
you know he does. You know he wishes he did. I mean, like, you knew a big turn was coming.
You had to.
I'm curious to see if he thinks that that's a miss.
I feel like that was a little greedy, but what? I'm not playing. I don't know what's right or wrong. That's why you guys are the guys that, you know.
We're the guys with a Z.
With a Z. Don't forget that. The Z.
All right, opponent. What are we doing here?
Iron
one and 2, 3 blocks. Looks like it.
3.
Hit him with the razor reflex off the tunic. Hit him with it.
I mean, we've only seen one courageous still hand. He might have one in hand.
I mean, he's bound to have a good card.
Right.
Gotta have some reactions coming, right? Like,
I mean, he's gonna have. He's contemplating giving go again here. So.
Oh, he's definitely giving this go again. He's just trying to figure out how he wants to.
Try to figure out if he wants to do it from Solar, do it from Snapdragon.
I don't see a reason to waste the snaps here with 4 cards in Soul, but
that's what
Josh
I'm thinking
does
too,
this deck
Nathan.
way better than me.
I feel like he's got to have another courageous still hand.
Yeah, the steel hand would be really good here.
Oh, for sure. Getting the draw and pushing over the damage is really good, but yep. Oh, yep. There it is. Bang, bang, bang. This one is the yellow one, so it gives a +2. So he's dealing 2 over.
Deal 2, draw a card.
Yep. Feel like that was very good.
White.
And he's still got the tunic counter. And he still has a Raiden swing.
Keep in mind though, Josh is at 5 life.
Yep.
Against a Teklo plasma pistol, that's a very low life total.
Well, this is very true.
So we do need some more threats here. What's up, Andrew?
Andrew Collins, my guy. We're thinking about coming up to y'all's ProQuest in Greenville. It's one that we talked about since it's only a couple hours away. Hoping to see you there, baby girl. Oh, the Valiant. Now
that's
he's
what
popping.
I was waiting for.
That's got me hot and bothered.
I don't think he shuffled his hand either. I think that's the card he drew.
I wasn't paying that much attention. You're next level than I is.
Trying to keep up out here.
From my understanding, there is, Andrew. I can get more information and send it your way later.
He didn't even know. I know y'all were talking about that. I haven't looked up the ProQuests yet.
I got a list.
Good.
I can send that list off.
I love a good Valiant thrust.
Me and you both, buddy.
He can give this go again too, right?
Can you check his cards in deck? It looks like Dash is 15, Josh is 22. And you got the Valiant Thrust coming in for 7, if not 8. So it looks like he's taking all of it. It's going to 5 himself. Or going to 6 himself. He should. There you go.
If Josh has like a sink below or something in Arsenal, could be really, really good.
Looks like Josh is 18 to 15 still.
Looks like
yeah,
Dash opponent. I bet his Dash opponent is going to keep up this same pattern of hit with the pistol, try to get a card out of your hand, and then hit you with, a 0 to 60 or something like that.
Yeah.
Followed by a pitch to load the pistol again.
I do feel like a lot of the cards left in his deck are blue at this point. We know he's got like a sink below. I don't think he's pitched any other reds for the most part.
He's used Dash has used pretty much all of his good reds. I've seen the 0 to 60s, the throttles, the zipper hits. He might have a zipper hit left because I think I've only seen 1 or 2
I think
of
we've
those.
only seen one of the one red zipper hit at least.
But yeah, his Dash is definitely getting down to the point of the deck where he's got a lot of blues in the deck.
Yep.
But he did pitch a sink below to the bottom, so there's a sink.
We know
in there.
that is a thing, and we got throttle, pitching blue throttle, putting counters back on his nonsense.
High speed impact, okay.
It's very good.
There goes another blue off the top, not surprising.
And also keeping
Josh and his dice.
Also, keep in mind, he still has the Arcanite Skull Cap live and the Brave Forge Bracers and the Tunic.
And this is what I was talking about he was going to save that for, because right now he could full 4 block this with just his equipment.
Yep.
And his opponent would be at 6 with 1 card in hand, and I don't think he could represent lethal other than with the Teklo Plasma Pistol, which would put him to 1, and he would be able to have a full hand for a crackback with his opponent at 6.
Yep.
So that is a play. He's got Snapdragons ready to go. I would definitely put the Tunic in front of something here because the Tunic is not doing anything the rest of this game.
More than likely.
Very, very unlikely the Tunic does anything other than jump in front of something for 1 right now. But yeah, I think a really good play here is full block this with your equipment, take the 2 from the pistol, go to 1, and just crack back. Unless Josh has a hand where that he can afford to block with something.
I think that's what he's contemplating now.
Yeah.
Looks like he's blocking with a Via the Vanguard and a Skull Cap, so he has to have 2 Via the Vanguards in his hand, right? I feel like he's bound to see one at this point.
I mean, that's the first one we've seen, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so
There's
In
the
my
zipper.
opinion, the Arsenal card.
This is a zipper hit for 3, by the way. So he's able to block 3 with the Brave Forge and the Tunic and still have 4 cards coming back in. Justin Gregory, my dude.
So
JG.
do you do what I was talking about and you block with Tunic Brave Forge here?
I think
and
you
then
block
take-
with Tunic Brave Forge and have a 5-card hand or a 4-card hand, unless like that card in Arsenal is like a sink below.
I would be very worried about. Man, this is a really tough situation actually because I would be very worried. The Dash player blocks quite well, but at this point, his entire deck pretty much is going to be attack action cards. And
Yeah,
so
I think he's blocked with all of his non-attacks for the most part.
I don't think there's hardly any left other than that sink below, and maybe like a Teklo core or something that he can block effectively with.
Yeah.
So, this is a really really tight game. I'm not sure what the right call is here. Do you, not knowing Josh's hand from an outside perspective, I think it looks good to block with the Brave Forge and the Tunic, take the 2 from the pistol, and have 4 cards to try to kill your opponent with, or at least have the tempo to where your opponent doesn't get to do anything anymore for the rest of the game.
Definitely.
But being able to attack with the pistol twice a turn with 1 card in hand is really disgusting.
He's playing his whole turn out in his head right now, trying to see what he can do, and like
this is the most important block of the match right here.
Yeah, and I feel like he's blocked very well this entire match.
Definitely.
I feel like both players actually have blocked pretty well this entire match. So
he's panicking. The little red hand is going spastic. This is something. Not really entirely sure what Josh is thinking through right now, other than, I mean, he's got to be. I mean, if he's gonna use all 4 cards in his hand, man, it's really hard for me to believe that he wouldn't just block like I was saying. But if any of those cards are expendable, now is a fantastic time to expend them.
Yeah.
The problem also is that Boltyn, that I've mentioned several times now, is that a 3-card hand is kind of optimal for being able to still do something in a turn.
Mm-hmm.
Anything less than that is generally pretty tough to do anything with. Yeah.
So he's just thinking about. Yep. He just blocks 3 there, and just goes to 1.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. Exactly that.
This is, well, I mean, he must be able to present like 10 damage, right? Like he must be able to present something to where he's gonna force him to block.
If he can't present 10 damage here, then he would have blocked from with a card from hand.
Yeah.
There's just no way. He's got to be able to get 3 cards out of his opponent's hand here, in threat and lethal.
He's trying to figure out if he goes to 1, can he basically do 15 damage and strip all 4 cards? If not, he Kadachi locks himself, basically.
Yeah, so we expected the second V because we literally haven't seen them all game. So this is fantastic to have the V
so
here.
He pays, is that a yellow express?
He's charging.
So it's a yellow express.
Take lightning. Is that 1 floating now?
He's got 1 floating, charges the take flight, so he's coming in for 4. Okay.
What are all of V's abilities?
V's abilities, I'll read it off for you.
Else
As initial cost to play via the Vanguard, you may charge your hero's soul any number of times. So we did 1. Attacks you control this combat chain game +1 each light card charge this way. So he's essentially coming in for 4 3 times because the Raiden will be able to attack twice since the boost. So he's able to right now, and he could quite possibly, since he has 1 floating.
Why can the Raiden attack twice?
Isn't he able to give go again since he got the boost?
Yeah, but Raiden is a once per turn action.
Is it? Well, I'm stupid then. Okay, so he must have another card in hand for Snapdragon. And end with
absolutely. He won't even need to burn the Snapdragon if he can attack with V, banish a card, Raiden, banish a card, attack with whatever's in hand.
Actually, you know what he's got? You want to hear what he's got? I'm going to tell you what he's
Celestial
got. He's got a freaking Celestial Cataclysm in his hand.
I
We've
knew
only
you
seen
were gonna
one.
say that. I knew you were gonna say that.
Okay, so he
If
blocks 3.
If he has Cataclysm, he's gonna Snapdragon into it.
Okay, so he gives go. Okay, so he doesn't have the Cataclysm. Well, no, he can still have it. Oh, never mind. I lied. He doesn't have the Cataclysm. So then he goes raiding for 4.
There's another Pour the Mold, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Another non-attack action.
Or 3 for 3 into 4. Oh, 4. That's what I thought. Okay, yeah, 4 to 5. Okay.
Coming in for 4 here. Still
Presenting
not
8.
lethal.
It's not great. He almost Kadachi locks himself, right? Sort of, kind of.
Well,
So it
this'll
goes to
buff it.
5, and he's going to take 2.
5, take 2 down to 3.
Oh, no, that's just an action card. A Locked and Loaded is just an action card.
Oh, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah,
Fair
so
enough.
it's just coming for 4. I guess Josh got the other Steel Hand in hand?
This has got to be a good card.
Yep, it's got to be a Steel Hand.
Yeah.
There it is.
I
So
do
he's
love a
coming in
good
for a
Steel Hand.
7. 7 over the... is it 2? Oh,
Should be a
it blocks
3
for
block.
3. Okay, so he's getting 4 over, and it's a 1-to-1 game. Huh. Holy moly.
He couldn't have used Bracers. Doesn't pump.
No.
the sword
Bracers...
there. It only pumps the second sword.
I want to say it's only the second one. Yeah. So he would have had to activate it on a on like a Lumina turn.
Sucks now because his Bracers are basically useless because they only block for 1.
Unless he's got 2 0-cost cards that he can keep in hand. Like, that card's getting that card's
Battlefield.
blocking.
Yeah. The Bolting Blade. That's a card he would have loved to have played earlier in this match.
So it looks like here. And I could just be totally wrong. And please correct me if I'm wrong, Christopher Ray. But I feel like it's just block 2, pass, block 2, pass. And we're just locked. And then we're just locked into a And then we're just locked
Whoever's
into
got more cards in
fatigue.
deck.
Yeah, we're fatiguing at this point.
Or if Josh can keep a Courageous in hand and Raiden for 0 with a Courageous Steel Hand.
So
per game.
disrespectful.
That
Yeah,
would
he could have the shunt. I mean, what if, right? What if like that is something that was an oversight and like he just doesn't have the shunt for game?
All right, here we go. 2 cards to try to do 1 damage.
Okay, that's going to he's got an Express Lightning. What does this card do again? I'm not very familiar with these.
Oh, he's charged, so he can Snapdragon and attack twice this turn at least.
No, he can banish, right? Oh no, it would be Snapdragon. You're correct.
Yeah.
Deck sizes goes falls 7 for Dash, 15 for Boltyn.
But another really interesting point to make here is every attack forces 2 blocks out of his opponent's hand almost. And the skill cap is now turned off because his 3 blocks that are attack action cards now have to block twice because his opponent's at 1. So his opponent's going to have to block with 2 cards from hand. I think Josh might actually have this. I didn't.
No,
think about that.
we're still waiting on the sync below. I don't know if it's back yet.
It should not be back quite.
I want to
yet.
say it was like 2 turns ago.
I
Two
think it'll be the
turns
next
ago.
hand. I think it'll be the next hand. I don't.
Unless
think
he
Sync
has
Below is back.
another one, right? Unless he has the 3rd one, because he's used one earlier.
He used one and banished one.
Yeah.
So there's only that one left. Unless he's playing like Fate for Scenes or something that we haven't seen.
I mean, I doubt that. I don't think we're at that point anymore. We should know every card in his deck. So
yeah, we should know everything. How many cards left does he have in deck?
he's got 7.
7 cards. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. He double blocks.
That's what I'm saying. Because if he blocks with one of the cards,
Oh,
it'll pump
he's
and it'll
forced
kill
to
him.
double. You're
Yes,
freaking
yes,
right.
That's what I'm saying. Is now we've gotten to a point where I think Josh might just be good because he can Snapdragon this and Raiden, and then it would also have to get 2 cards out of his hand.
Oh, you're right.
Yep.
So he has to Snapdragon here.
And then he only has 7 cards left in deck, and he's not going to be able to win.
I mean,
because
not even that.
Josh will have tempo for a full hand to swing back.
Well,
with.
not even that. Think about it. Skullcap's turned off. Can't block with it. If he comes in again for the Raiden, he Snapdragons, goes Raiden. He's forced to double block again, and then and then well, unless he's got a non-attack, but I feel like he just doesn't have a non-attack in hand since he blocked like this at the beginning. So he goes Raiden for 3, possibly 4. He double blocks again, and he's just got a 4-card hand coming back.
Yeah, with all information out there right now, because Josh has no cards in hand and no tricks he can do,
Yeah,
there's no reason for his opponent to block like this if he has a non-attack action or a sync below in hand. There's just zero reason for that.
yeah.
So I mean, there's no reason Josh is not going to Snapdragon Scalers into
He's
the
got
the
to.
Raiden here.
I know he's probably just trying to check all his P's and Q's before he does it.
Yeah, I'm actually curious what he's thinking about.
Did he just
Is it-
turn? I
Does
thought
the
he just
express
clicked in turn.
does the Express Lightning have any effect?
As an additional cost to play Express Lightning, you may charge your Hero Soul. Coming in for
right?
3.
Yeah, it's just a generic charge card. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a really interesting.
And now he's hovering over the snap, so I think that's what he's about to do.
I mean, he's got to. I'm just not sure
He
what
has
he's
to.
thinking about. I'm not sure what he's thinking about here. It seems pretty straightforward, but
He's probably overthinking it, right?
yeah, he's got something in mind here.
He said, Sebastian says in chat, depending on how many Celestials are left, he might want to save the card. He might want to save for his soul, which I get that, but I don't even think it matters at this point.
Yeah, honestly, with his opponent having 7 cards left in deck, I think you just snap here and try to draw the Celestial.
You need to have another turn, right?
The Celestial is going to win you the game straight off the bat. I don't think there's any reason to. Because you.
He won.
Oh, the Purifier.
He had the Plasma Purifier for game. Wow.
Oh, wow.
I forgot. That's right. He did pitch it a couple turns earlier. So that was the turn that he had the Plasma Purifier back in his hand. Wow. GG's. That was a very good game. Like, wow.
Yeah, as soon as I realized that his opponent was going to have to block with 2 cards there, it kind of felt over. I didn't see any way for the Dash player to get through that.
I totally whiffed on remembering about the Plasma Purifier because we commented on that. I was like, wow, Purifier he's ditching.
Yeah.
Like, so that makes sense.
I actually didn't realize that the Purifier doesn't block.
CNC, Bolt of Courage, V for Vanguard.
That hand was disgusting.
That hand was really good too on the fat. He didn't need to snap anyways. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're correct. Wait, what? Since he blocked with an attack action.
Right.
Okay.
No. We knew that he didn't need to snap, but we were talking about him because he only has 3 cards in Soul, and he knew he was going to get all the cards out of his hand. If his opponent full blocks that card, if he keeps the 3 cards in Soul, he can then play a Celestial Cataclysm on the following turn if he draws it. But he cannot play the Celestial Cataclysm if he uses the card from Soul. And there's no reason for him not to Snapdragon Scalers there, knowing he's about to get all the cards out of his opponent's hand, and knowing his opponent has a Sync Below coming with only 7 cards left in deck. The snap is 100% the right call there.
Yeah.
Definitely a great match. Fantastic match.
I'm gonna actually see if Josh wants to come in and talk about his match. If anybody wanted to stay around.
Yeah. Everybody stick around for a second. Let's get Josh in
here.
We'll
talk with Josh and see what his thought process was and all those turns that he played. That was very, very, very good match between both players. So GG's to both players. With
Hi. Hey, there's Josh.
What? There he is.
I'm here.
Were you blowing a head gasket for a minute about that third to last turn block?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a good game.
Which one was that?
So the turn he's referring to is not the turn before this one, but the one right before that one.
I want to say
where you blocked with your Brave Forge, Brave Forge bracers and your tunic, and then took the 2 damage from the pistol to go to 1.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was your whole thought process with that?
Based on the cards in my hand, there was no other way to win.
Sure.
Basically.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a low percentage chance to win, but I had to take it there. The tunic was never going to come around to 3 mana. Going to 1 turns off his skull cap, which was relevant that game.
Very relevant.
And I had a Express Lightning, Take Flight, and a red steel hand in my hand, and had a V in the arsenal. The tunic was at 0 charges, so basically to have a turn, I had to take all that damage, pitch one of my yellows via the Vanguard, charge a card, and then swing Raiden, and hope that I was actually hoping that he was going to block with an attack action on the Raiden, because if he did, that would have been exactly lethal.
Yeah, with the
But
courageous.
yeah, but he blocked with the
Was it a pour the mold? I think it was.
yeah, with a non-attack. So I was like, okay, I just got to put you to 1 and just play from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a
Yeah,
close match.
I was telling Kyle, I was like, he can go to 1 here, shut off the skull cap, and still have a 3-card hand plus arsenal to crack back with with your opponent at 6. I was like, and depending on your hand, like there's no reason for you not to take that play if you can use all the cards in your hand effectively.
There, one of the, I mean that was a game where I've played Boltyn quite a bit. That those situations don't come up very often where you don't draw via the Vanguard for 41 cards.
Yes, yeah, we were talking about that.
We were like, "Where's his Via the Vanguard?"
It was in there, and so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to rely on Beacon Luminous for a while. But the interesting thing is that there was a point where I had to decide whether I'm going to arsenal the Via the Vanguard, and I was debating doing that or making a different play with I could have pitched the Via the Vanguard and gone with an attack Raiden into a take flight or something like. I could have gone 3 wide on a turn before that.
Okay.
And my health was like at 5 or 6. I was like, in what world do I get off a good Via the Vanguard at 5 or 6 health? Like,
right.
I have to give him 2 cards generally at least, and then if you give him 2 cards, your Via the Vanguard turn, especially without Tunic, is basically as weak as it gets, right? So there was a lot of debating there whether to pitch that V or to arsenal it, and then eventually I was like, you know what, this is a very low percentage play, but I just have to do it and hope that I get a little bit lucky with his draws. And so I was able to craft a situation where I was able to only give him 1 card and go down to 1.
Yeah.
And that was all that I needed. I thought, based on my calculations, like, there's no way I get this Via the Vanguard off like with 3 cards in hand, but I was able to do that, which allowed me to put him to 1, which allowed me to. That was a multi-step process of crafting a win there. That was several playing to my outs several times in a row there, basically.
There was a turn, I if I recall correctly, I think is what like ultimately kind of I'm maybe not lost in the game, but I want to say he played Tome from hand or arsenal and pitched the Plasma Purifier.
No, he pitched a Sink Below.
No, he pitched a Plasma Purifier at 1.2 for something. I can't remember if that was the play.
Very, very like. I was like 4th, 5th turn, something like that.
Well, like you saw though he drew it on the turn that he needed to be blocking. So
yes,
yeah, I don't know if Josh noticed, but we were commenting on the Sink Below pitch. He knew he was going to have to block. We were trying to figure out why in the world.
Like you took all that damage, and then he was like, "Yeah, I'll just pitch the Sink Below." I'm like, he's about to come in for a big turn. I feel like you would want the Sink Below in your hand for that. So
I was curious if you noticed that and whether you were, thinking like, oh wow, he must have something better than a Sink Below, which is about as good as it gets when it comes to blocking Boltyn's attacks.
Yeah, I was a little bit wondering about that, but I kind of just figured, oh, okay, he has 2 Sink Belows.
yeah, right.
But then I was like, wait a second, he already played 2. So I was a little unsure what was going on there. I didn't really think about that, to be honest. But I did notice he pitched several times red. He used red cards to pitch, so that was a little bit of I don't know if efficiency lost, or I don't know exactly what to say.
Yeah, but, he didn't prioritize getting any sort of Plasma Purifier or second induction chamber or anything like that out. He blocked with a Spark of Genius at one point.
He blocked a couple of times with it.
Yeah, when I think he could have blocked with something else and played the Spark of Genius, but
I believe he was caught slightly off guard by me playing Raiden, because in we talked a little bit during the game. Like he remembers playing me in
Yeah,
Dallas,
Mhm.
so he remembers I was on Sabers. He even
that's fair. Yeah.
was when I flipped my equipment. He was actually surprised. He was like, "Oh, you're not Sabers." So
Nope.
I mean, if you notice, I put my equipment in one pile.
Yep.
Um,
Very, very,
I mean,
very smart to do. So
I mean, if he in real life, like if you put it in one pile, there's like no way they can tell whether it's 5 or 6 cards. On TTS, if they like mouse
Yeah, they
over
hover
it, they can
over it.
actually
Yeah.
tell. But then I'm like, why are you mousing over my equipment? Go away. But
that's funny.
yeah. So I was like, okay, I need to keep my equipment in one pile to maintain a little bit of surprise here because
Yeah.
I think he sideboarded for
For
I think
the
he hedged slightly. I think he hedged slightly towards Sabers.
yeah.
I have experience playing Sabers against Boost Dash, and actually the Boost Dash deck is a little bit too fast. So I'd say that's actually slightly favored in Dash's favor if you play Sabers. If you go with the Raiden build, I think you're a slight favorite as Boltyn, just a tiny bit because a lot of their hand is attack actions as you saw during that game. Like
Yeah.
he didn't really want to block, and when he did have to block, that pumped my attacks. So, um, but I mean, in either case, I think the the edge that you get as Boltyn um, you can get some edge from your opponent not knowing exactly what you're playing.
Yeah. For sure.
100%.
Well,
100%.
with your win, that means that we win the series. We're currently up 3-1 right now. Thanks, Nam.
Okay.
And
I also want to say a little bit about that game. That game was another example about fundamentals in terms of attacking and blocking.
yeah,
Oh, definitely.
That was another game where if I miss block, if I make one mistake, I lose.
yeah,
Basically,
for sure. You had to literally play perfect.
this is a theme for Warrior. Is you have to play your defense and your offense has to be basically perfect.
Yeah,
You really have to block efficiently. A single point of damage can make the difference in that game.
for sure.
So,
For sure.
Yeah, that's why I love Warrior. There's a high standard, and there's some beauty about attacking and defending perfectly or near perfectly, and then both going down to one. That's as close as it gets. So
Yeah, for sure. For
my
sure.
opponent played very well. I overall I didn't notice anything like he's a strong player. So I'm always happy to play against high level players. That's where you really see the beauty of the game.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's one we're going to be able to look back on later on, and people can learn from it and see kind of thought process of blocking and attacking and gaining incremental points of just advantage in your favor. So I'm excited to go back and rewatch that match. Maybe I can learn another thing or two after watching it live. So, but yeah, Josh, you can go
I think
ahead.
those master classes in attacking and blocking are going to be very good for newer players coming into the game.
Yeah.
Trying to really understand, each point of block. And I kept telling Kyle this in the very beginning, how I knew you were going to save your Brave Forge bracers until the very last possible, minute, especially when you know that
he has a sculpt cap.
well, not just the sculpt cap, right? Like it's more of you can get all 3 block out of the Brave Forge bracers in one turn if you need to with how much he breaks the chain.
Yep, exactly.
And so there's no point to burn your equipment that early. Use your life total as a resource in a classic constructed game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was one point where I was like down 15 life or something like that, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I have a plunder run turn. This will stabilize.
That was funny. You blocked with the 1 plunder run, so we put a poll in the chat to see if people thought it was going to be like the other plunder run or like another card, and everybody thought it was going to be via the Vanguard. And I'm like, I
We
think
both
it's
called
Plunder Run.
We both called Plunder Run.
And then you flip that Plunder Run. I was like, yeah. That
Yeah.
was pretty funny. But dude, insane match. I'm definitely gonna be clipping this, putting it on the YouTube, and then sharing it with all of our newer players, so they can kind of study, the blocking, the beauty and the essence of blocking and defending.
So some videos that I'm currently making or in production is so watching a game as a spectator is one level of understanding, but I think you can get a much deeper level of understanding if so something that I'm working on is for the skirmish finals. So I'm going.
Great match, by the way.
Yeah. So if you haven't watched it, watch it, or it's coming out soon. Is to watch the game and then actually kind of watch it in reverse. So I write down what cards are in my hand, and then I display that on the screen. So that's something that doesn't that you generally don't have as an observer of the game, is to see the hand.
Yeah.
And to see the exact hand and hear someone's thought process that actually played the hand is I think like a really it's really insightful that's another level of understanding the game. So that's something I'm working on. That'll be out soon.
I'm really looking forward to that. I'm gonna learn.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, that's crazy. Well, congratulations on
Thanks.
on winning, and TheCardGuyz on top.
That's right.
But yeah, stream. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off on the stream part now, guys. We appreciate you guys chilling with us tonight. Always a good time to watch Flesh and Blood. Never not a good time. So hope you guys have a good night. If you enjoyed the content, hit the freaking subscribe button. I want to see you back here later on. Christopher Ray, good to see your name in the chat. I miss you, buddy. And yeah, have a good night.